Alright, so here is my aquaponics update, week 4 for YouTube. Um, Everything's kind of slowing down a bit. The temperatures here in Arizona are actually getting down into the 80s. Wow, actually kind of nice. But it's cooling off in the evenings, getting down into the 50s and sometimes 45s, things like that. So I'll just kind of show you the update. So everything's looking pretty good. Kohlrabi has gotten a lot bigger. Broccoli's looking really good, has not bolted, at least these two have not, which is great. Garlic chive, still crappy. My beets haven't really gotten too much bigger. There are a couple other beets hidden under my kohlrabi. Not doing super big. I think that's because kohlrabi's overshadowing them. Audrey too, she has almost stopped all growth now that she's gone out of the 90s. I was talking to another gardener in the area and he was saying, yeah, cantaloupe and squash and all that other stuff is pretty much not the time to be doing it right now. So anyways, it was a good experiment. We'll see if anything actually grows off of it. Had a lot of flowers, a lot of bees, but have seen absolutely no melon start yet. So Audrey's looking really good. This is cabbage, not looking super good. A couple of the Swiss chard are starting to take a little more root, getting a little bigger. There's another Swiss chard under there. She's happy, so she's doing good. Come over here. My kohlrabi is looking enormous, but the root balls still are kind of small. So it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering why this is the same kohlrabi as in the other aquaponics, but this one is really purple. All of it's very purple, stems all the way up into, even into the leaf, very purple. As comparison to the other, you can see not much purple at all, and no purpling up even into the leaves. So this aquaponics tank here was shut off during my summer. This one I kept running with fish in it, so I'm thinking it's a more established tank and is getting far more nutrients. So the Swiss chard, we took a bunch of leaves off of it. There's a couple I gotta just get rid of. There is a cauliflower in here that you can see, but she is bolted, so she's not really looking super well. Over here are my bok choy, and those are really almost ready to come out. So over here again is my super red romaine and red romaine. It's doing really well. And here you can see the bok choy. I'll kind of pull this back and you can kind of get under here and see the bok choy. So she's really happy and healthy. Same thing over here. You can see she's got a very big root base. So planted some new seedlings to kind of replace some of the other stuff that we had eaten. Here's some just simple romaine, 2 of those, and then I've got this, it's called black seed lettuce, 2 of those, and then I planted 2 butterhead, but looks like one of them is not really taking very well, so we'll see what happens. I planted those last Sunday, so they're doing pretty good. Over in the regular raised bed gardens, I thinned everything out, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. The arugula's not growing super well. Everything in this bed is just kind of not really doing super well. Over here, this bed's doing a bit better. Those are kohlrabi, but absolutely no ball on them whatsoever. Some rutabagas, cauliflower, kind of looks like it's bolted. This is kale. This is the only kale plant that I actually had much success with, but I thinned that one out really early on, so that's probably part of its reason it's doing better. And then in the last bed garden, this one's actually doing a lot better than the other ones. Now the only difference with this raised bed garden, I actually held off a little bit. I had been looking on YouTube and discovered this stuff called azomite or rock dust, and so I kind of held off on this bed, and once I got the rock dust, I added it to this bed the way it says on the package, and everything looks a lot healthier, a lot greener. I don't know, just seems to be a lot more progress in a lot shorter of a time. This is kohlrabi. This one's already doing pretty well. I planted a Swiss chard just last week. She's doing really well. This is a purple cauliflower that we got from our friend over at our food co-op, and that's the same guy we got the bok choy from, so I'm expecting those to do pretty well. Cauliflower and cabbage. That cabbage is doing really well, and the other cabbage, those are doing really well. Got a couple little red romaine, those crest curls I'm going to rip out, and then my carrots. So my carrots are doing pretty good. Got quite a few different carrots coming up, so pretty happy with that. And then the last progress is the acorn squash. She's doing pretty good. She had a ton of acorns on her last week that I showed, but unfortunately it looks like a lot of them are drying up, except for this one big girl down here. So she's doing really well. Yes, she's acorn squash, and I think there was like 8 different ones on this vine at one point, but as you can see, the leaves are not doing super well. I kind of attribute that to my male dog, who's decided to help me garden, and so yeah, so she's doing alright. At least we might get one off of her. But for a plant that just grew out of nothing, weren't expecting, we're pretty happy with one. So last update is the tomatoes. So the tomatoes are doing really well. You can see they've actually already gotten up to the top and trying to poke its little head through. So those are black cherry tomatoes. And then I planted one of the other purple cauliflowers right here just because I don't have a lot of room for it right now. And then I have this other tomato plant that just came up, and she's doing really well. It's called a Rudiger's, and I believe that was developed by Campbell's. I'm not sure, but it does say it's a non-GMO organic, so we're giving it a try. So here's some of my other little seedlings, a couple things poking its head out. But other than that, that's about it. And there's my little gardener helper. I think he's going to go help me water the plants again. All right. Thanks for visiting Arizona. Have a great day.